on to the AGNB podcast. We're going live today. We're having a podcast virtually. It's been a minute, but we're back. There you go. You got it.
Hey.
So now we're waiting on my co-host, Quana, which you would love. I love Quana. She is off today.
All right.
So how's your day going?
Great. Yeah. I just came from a screening of the first black animator for Disney. I saw the documentary on like Netflix years ago, but the guy was in town and he was actually doing like a Q&A afterwards. So that was pretty dope. So
Wow. So it's a documentary on him?
Yeah. Floyd, I've totally am blanking on his last name, but yeah, it's really cool. Really cool. So yeah.
When did he begin?
Yeah, like 1959, like Sleeping Beauty. Like, yeah, the very, very first, yeah. I think he was the first black, just anybody probably to work at Disney.
Right.
But I mean, he actually met, he worked with Walt Disney too. So it was, people, it was rumored that he was like super racist, but he was like, no, he just wanted to get stuff done. So he was just a taskmaster, smoking cigarettes and keeping it moving. He was
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you went to the screening of that. Being in New York, man, I tell you.
Yeah, and just my town right outside of New York. I'm in Fort Lee, so that was at my local thing that he was just doing a Q&A. Yeah, after it. So I kind of missed out on that because I had the haul tail over here, but I'm glad I got to see that and check it out though. It was fun.
I saw in one of your interviews that, you kept saying that all the engineers were from New York or LA, and you were like, I'm moving.
Pretty much, yeah. At the time, now, that was how I felt. It's a little bit, it opened up with remote work and stuff, being able, but yeah, when you're just trying to get your foot in the door, being a front of house engineer, which mixing for concerts is what I wanted to get into. I just had to go where the work was at.
And I saw that in interviews. I know we're waiting for her, but I'm going to just jump on in. She will just jump on, and we'll just keep it moving from there. But I don't want to be, I want to give you your time, and I know you're a busy lady, so I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with All Gas No Brakes podcast.
Yes, glad to be on.
Thank you. If you could introduce yourself to our followers and where they can find you at, your website, your Instagram, everything.
All right. Hi, I'm Fela. I co-own One of One Production Studios where I'm at right now. We're a recording studio, but we specialize in podcasting. Currently, we're working with Ice-T on an upcoming project. We've worked with like Sirius XM, and doing some iHeartRadio stuff. CC Sabathia, his podcast is recorded here before. So, yeah, it's been a pretty cool ride these last 3 years. About to be 4 in March, in the studio. So,
wow, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, growing in this podcast world,
It motivates me because I watched your interview about how to run a podcast. You had a whole interview on that. And I have a podcast. We have a studio. And we've been, our goal is to do the same as you, have a space where people can come and record audio, podcasts. And we really would love to film, movies. We want to actual that in movies and commercials. We want, my engineer, when next time you're down here, I would love to introduce my engineer if you're ever in DC.
Oh, yeah.
He is a general contractor. He knows how to build anything. Like entire house. Like he can build anything. God's a genius.
Nice.
So that's our next move, is a larger space.
All right. Yeah. That's where it's at, where you can maximize your creativity on your own time. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Yeah.
not combined. It's not just, oh, I can only do it this time. It's like, oh, okay. I feel like, you know,
Yeah.
being able to come to my own studio at 9:30 at night, you know, is priceless, you know.
Right? Right? Your own
Totally.
studio. Man, your story, it took a long, it felt like it took a while to get there. But
Oh yeah.
you stuck to it.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, when I think most people would have just stopped, I just was like, hey, I'm just gonna keep going. Because audio was something that I was passionate about. So I used to take it back, how I got interested in audio in the first place. I took a career placement test in the 8th grade, and it said audio engineer.
Juana Volin. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Snapchat. I'm on Twitter. I am everywhere. Everywhere you want to be.
Hey, I love it. Fela, she is awesome. I love this young lady. I know her all my life. And I'm happy to have her on the show. She is hilarious, so get ready. We're going to all crack up.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
So, Fela, back to that story. You took a test that told you audio engineer.
Yeah. Wow. Funny enough, like 12, 13. And that was it. I was like, okay, that's an interesting job. And I knew I didn't want to do a regular job when I grew up. I wanted to do something creative. I was playing in band, but I didn't want to do that full time. I knew once I played trombone.
All right now. She played them big horns. That's right.
Yeah.
I like that.
So, yeah, from there, I just started reading magazines, and this was before Google and YouTube and all.
Magazines, yes. We cut them out and paid them, yes.
Yeah, so, yeah, it wasn't as easy as it is now. You know, it's just like, look it up right quick. It was like, finding even what an engineer did was pretty hard.
Research.
In like the, you know, late 90s. So yeah, I kept the dream alive, and then in 10th grade, I found out about Full Sail, which is a well-known audio school that Santiago went to as well, and that was it. Like, once I saw the place and like knew all the people that had gone there, I did some research. That was it. I wanted to.
You and him research, honest research.
Oh yeah.
When you do music, for some reason, Quana, I don't know what it is. When you're into music and you start getting into the data research, you start learning how important research is.
Yes,
very much so.
You can actually skip.
So me, with music, I just listen. So I always had control of the record player. My dad never let nobody touch it. But I was able to touch the records. I know how to clean the needle. I know how to drop it properly. I knew what song needed to be next. So I never had control over anything but that record player and that milk crate full of records. So that was my research. I didn't want to learn it, but I had to learn it.
But that was some good tunes.
And I know
so
much because of it. Yeah, I can sing a song from the 70s. I wasn't even there.
Oh, yeah.
But I know every word, the beat, the feeling, the move. Got to get back in the road.
Exactly.
But I know exactly what she's talking about. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. With that, listening to all those 70s records and all of that. And then at the time, people were just, you know, sampling it crazily. You know, those same old school, you know, records.
They're still doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it was also ear training for me. You know,
that was me.
From hearing that stuff and knowing how people wanted to hear it in a mix. And so that was what initially got me into it, though. And
I think that's really cool how they make it relevant to today with those remixes. And even on TikTok, they doing that. You hear, and I'm looking at my daughter like, how do you even know this song? And she wasn't in yet, but she's singing it, you know. SWV, girl, you was born in 2014.
Yeah,
but that was some good music
on that stuff. So we like the same stuff is always going to be
and it's
relative.
just history, like they say, repeats itself.
Yep.
So Fela, I dug. There was two things I want to bring up. You took that test that told you audio engineering. Was that was in school, or was that like a magazine you found and you did that?
No, that was in school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
In school.
You know, I bring that up because when I was in school, 7th grade, I would never forget. I never forget the teacher's name either. And it was Miss Lamiel. Never forget her. In 7th grade in Virginia, they made us take that same test, and I took that test, and I got marketing and creative director in business. That's what I got.
Wow.
And
look.
I love marketing. I'm addicted to it. I love it. I love business. I love everything around it. So it's so funny how that stuff does actually impact us when we're young.
Mm-hmm.
And then I researched how much they were making back then. They were making some good money. So I was like, oh, I got to get some of that good money.
I know when I took that little test, I was a lawyer, and it was something else. Because I like to debate. I'll talk you down even if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It was lawyer, and it was something that, like psychologist or something like that.
Oh,
and
I know you like
really
psychology.
do love psychology. You
we
learn
always
about
talk about that.
So I did take it in college, though.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. There you go.
I do love it. I do love psychology and trying to figure people out. It helps you figure yourself out as well. But the lawyer one, I wasn't sure,
Yeah.
The Lord tell you don't be lying, so I don't know if I.
Lawyers ain't lying.
Yeah.
I think know the law.
I think architect was like the second one on mine. So, it has a bunch of stuff on it.
It has a bunch of stuff that go with it, and it's a certain way you put it and phrase it and all that. But it's still interesting to me. So, y'all right. I did go off of that, like, kind of take heed to that little test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the other story. I was watching a lot of your interviews. You had one where your parents would get you that magazine on your birthday.
Yeah, mixed magazine
was like $15.
Yeah, exactly. And then last year I started writing for that same magazine, that mixed magazine that I was getting at 12 years old when I had no idea about.
Which one? That's right, or which one was?
Yeah,
I remember That's Right.
Yeah, mixed magazine.
No, mixed magazine. It's like a bunch of gear.
Yeah, audio engineering magazine.
All the gear for audio engineering.
Yeah.
You know what? The other day I wanted Chipotle and I went and got it. That's right, girl. You just go get it. You just go get it and do what you want to do with it. You understand?
It may take a while.
You don't want something, go get it now. You understand?
Exactly.
I love that. I got extra sauce on the side, everything.
Exactly.
For me. Don't worry about me. I'm good.
Hey, look, I just got Chipotle today.
Today, it's not even payday. Look at me.
Hey.
That thing $12.
Raise the roof. He's so funny. Quanta, do you have any questions? Because we are blessed to have her on the show. She is phenomenal, a Hall of Famer.
He always send me the stats. I ain't gonna hit you with all the stats. But I'll ask you, do you think your circle has changed since you've gained a certain amount of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Because the amount of work that I do, or when you do to get to a certain part in life, everybody can't even fathom the amount of time that it takes to do.
Can't go. Everybody can't go.
Yeah, and they're too tired to even go. That's
wow.
I hear you.
Like it took a while for me to even get my stamina of what I'm doing now up. Yeah. So that's it does change. And it is, and being like a business owner, I don't have the same conversations as I would with somebody that works, it's not a bad thing. It's just like, I don't even have time to watch TV. So when people are like talking about stuff, I'm like, okay,
I don't know.
Quanta, her now, I started talking about TV with her. I love TV. I'm a TV guy. But I always find a way, I told you, I would sneak away into certain rooms.
Yeah.
But I want to get into,
people
film.
Do what they really want. People will always do what they really want. Even if it's to go lay down. I drive home from work like I'm going to be late. I ain't even going to lie. I be late. People like I'm going to be late for the house. So I be like, why you ain't go through that light? You get from in front of me. Okay? I hate people that don't want to go home in front of me.
Yeah.
You're right. I figured you was going to say that because some people are scared to do things because they know they're going to leave people behind.
Mm-hmm.
And that holds them back.
Yeah.
Because if they had the same gift, they would leave you behind. And people need to recognize you can't let what somebody else gonna feel stop what you feeling or what you doing. So that's why I made a little joke about Chipotle, because I made it as simple as that. If it's something that you want, go get it.
I was lucky enough to always know, even when I was a teenager, like I knew I was gonna blink and be 40. Like I knew that. And I am. It's like, oh man, that happened so quick.
That happened so quick.
And it's like, if I didn't take advantage of time, and I definitely didn't have money, so I had to take advantage of time.
They are both priceless.
I had to put in the sweat equity, and that was pretty much how I was able to move the needle with my career and, getting it out there.
You said it, sweat equity.
That's it.
You don't have time. The story we talked about, how even when you graduated school, you didn't touch a board.
Yeah, for over a year. Yeah. I was deboning chickens and folding airbags, like every small town thing you had to do, just to pay bills and stay afloat. So, had to do what I had to do, but I knew that in the end it was going to pay off, but it was going to be the long route. Because I didn't have any connections into the audio, into the music world at all, so it was just, one step at a time and just looking at this mountain, to get to. But,
that's right.
Everything starts with the first step and you keep going.
They
So
just walking without a destination. Just go.
Yeah.
Just go. You don't got to see the shore, just swim.
Yeah. Pretty much. But I had nothing to fall back on. It wasn't like, oh, well, my dad had this law practice.
Right.
Like, it was like, well, I might as well go after what I really want. It's not I have.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
I love
I've just always been like, hey, I'm just going to go after it. I'm not.
I know this answer already because we spoke about it, but you must have a vision board.
Yes, I do. I have a vision board of the big stuff that I want, to the small stuff, going to Chipotle. So,
right.
So yeah, I have a list of everything, I kind of want to knock out the large stuff, which you mentioned, the Hall of Fame at Full Sail, like that was on my board to get to one day, and that happened. To get voted in by my peers into that, it was like, oh, okay, now I need to go even bigger.
Look at that, go bigger.
It just inspired me to dream bigger, because it was like nobody thought I was going to get that.
Yeah. I like what you said in one of your interviews. You were like, the vision board, you had that Hall of Fame up there that you actually had to get alcohol to wipe it off.
I had to etch it out of the whiteboard because it had stayed there and dried.
Yep. And dried so long.
Is it still there, kind of there, blurry?
Yeah, just a blurry red
That's all right.
With something over top of it.
We got it off of there.
She got it off, man.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
And now you're in your own studio, and then on top of that, Quanta, she is building tech. She has a laptop case with microphones, like literally what we do and how we travel.
Yeah,
that equipment.
So during the pandemic, when people couldn't come to us at the studio,
right?
I was already like endorsed and sponsored because I was touring for music. But then I was like, hey, can we start to sell and be a retailer? And I was able to make those connections with those manufacturers like Focusrite and, you know, the Sennheiser Shores and all of that. And now we sell those. So we have kits that we sell, 1 and 2 person kits for your podcasting, streaming, all that sort of thing. So
is she serious?
Yeah, she's serious.
Wow.
She's serious.
Yeah.
How cool is that? So tell me more about that.
Yeah, so we actually just we just sold 50 kits to the Mecklenburg County School District through Dystopia.
Okay, now.
Yeah, so
yes, that's a district.
Yes, a district. So and that was through some brothers, another minority-owned business, Dystopia. Which they're a podcast hosting platform that everybody should check out because they're really killing it. They're in tech as well. It was really cool. We were like featured in Afrotech with that move because, you know, they're going into more schools, you know, in the Charlotte area. So
big thing.
And all of that came from, I'm also a part of like Chamber of Commerce. It's like I'm a part of my Chamber of Commerce here. I'm actually on the board. President. Yeah, I'm on the board.
You're the board member. You're the board member. The president.
So, you know, so got that. But then I knew I wanted to expand down to Charlotte because I'm originally from South Carolina. I want to get closer to my family and stuff. Yeah, very southern accent.
I want to macaroni and cheese right now.
Collard greens, baby.
Good come on, cornbread. Let's go.
Oh, that's my meal right there.
Telling you.
Let's go. We about to do our New Year's eating right now.
God.
Hey, let me tell you, another one I like is smothered turkey wings.
Oh,
I made those last night. We're right.
Oh, you didn't invite us?
Nah, I got enough kids again.
Okay, right. Next time.
I'm lucky I fed them off of this chat. I'm telling you. Now that's drunk.
Sayla, everything you're doing is awesome, and you're going bigger and you're going bigger. So, like, why are you not afraid to keep going bigger? Some people are afraid of, like, okay, I did this, now let me go to another height.
Yeah.
Why are you not afraid? What makes you keep going?
I don't. There's no reason not to.
Even see it.
I don't even. Yeah, I mean,
I love that.
I come from humble beginnings in South Carolina, so it's like, what's worse than that? Like,
What'd you say about poverty, Sanchi?
Poverty's a motherfucker.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing really worse than poverty. So to me, like, it's such an ass kicker that I just can't, why not? That's like my whole thought process. Yeah. It's just, why not?
I love that.
If
you have any questions, please jump in because, you know, I have tons because she's an entrepreneur.
I love seeing a sister
she's
do her thing.
Yeah, she's
Thank
bad.
you.
Lord.
She's bad. We
need 1 million more of her.
Yeah, you know, I think lately I've been feeling like I've been meeting 1 million of us. We're going hard right now.
Oh yeah, that's like, just like she said, she's not talking to the same people, she's not having the same conversations anymore.
Yeah.
That's what took me. So if you're not having the same conversations because you're not dealing with the same people. I mean, because I can talk about my baby daddy if you want. If you want that same conversation that we just be having.
We go pass on that one.
Okay. We'll talk about my probation officer and let her know I'm here. I'm here, Miss Patricia. I'm in the house.
That P clean, the P clean.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to her Monday. I'm gonna talk to her Monday, and we gonna talk.
So Fela, with everything you've done, you're also a part of a partnership, and you've had a great team. How do you build good teams, or how do you even identify them?
Yeah.
Good people.
Energy.
I have to, energy. We have to work together for a while, and we just build off of each other. And I've been lucky enough to have a few great partners that we just take each other to the next level. And that's what I'm always looking for, people that want to go further, and we're pushing each other to, go as high as we can go, and never stopping. Like, what's the ceiling? Like, let's keep going, That's
right.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. So then my other question is, like, in regards to the business, how do you market your business? How do you get that word of mouth known? How did you do it?
Well, I'll start off with how I got into finally getting a tour, because that took a while for me. Like I said, like when I first got out of school, my first year I was doing odd jobs that had nothing to do with audio to save up, because I'm from a small town in South Carolina, so I had to like move away. So the next bigger city I could go to was either Charlotte or Myrtle Beach, and I ended up getting more gigs in Myrtle Beach. So I ended up moving there. Yeah, like
they
House
love
of
the soul
Blues,
down
and
there.
I was
They love that soul.
Oh yeah. Yeah, House of Blues.
Yes.
Legends in Concert. So I was, doing spotlight and stuff, for different shows in Myrtle Beach. But yeah, it was doing all of those odd jobs and just kind of starting from zero. And okay, if I can make this sound good, then okay, I know I'm on the right track. And it was like, if I can make the worst gear and the worst gig sound good, I knew it was just pushing it forward, slowly.
Wow.
And that was what pretty much happened. But what really blew me up and what got me out there marketing wise was the fact that I was 10 years into doing audio, and I wasn't where I wanted to be at all. Like I wasn't touring. I wasn't dealing with the artists that I wanted to deal with. So I was like, this video thing is starting to blow up. And now I'm seeing that LinkedIn, and this was 10, 11 years ago, that LinkedIn started letting you put video on, because it was all text-based until like 11, 12 years ago. So once I saw that, I was like, oh, okay. I think I'm going to start putting my live mixes on LinkedIn. I was like, where can I get attention that nowhere else could I get it? Because my friends weren't hooking me up with great jobs, and I just wasn't in the right spots. Like the gigs I was at, they weren't going to put me on to something that was heavier, and I knew it. So it was like, okay, I need to get to the artists, and I need to get to people who really hire. So I was like, okay, let me do this video thing with LinkedIn and just start posting the bands that I liked in New York City. Because at the time I was mixing everywhere, just, every $50 a night gig in New York City, Brooklyn. So just doing the real grimy, club.
I bet you have some great stories.
Blood, sweat, and tears. That's
right. I bet you have great stories.
Just all the rap shows.
When is the book coming out?
Let me ask when is the book coming out? That's a great question.
I don't read, but I listen
one of these days. Even my dad told me that. So yeah, I will have to do that.
Please do that so Tyler Perry can pick it up. As we just keep on going, ain't it?
As long as Medea doesn't find her way in it.
She's coming. She's coming. You know that girl got a show tonight. She's talking crack in the kitchen.
Exactly. Hey, I'm taking meals from mom at this house going to the club, eating in the back with
the book, then the movie. We just go the play.
So yeah, so from that, I didn't even have a video camera. All I did was take a 2-channel recording from these mixes, and then I would take.
You didn't have a video camera, and what happened? Lord,
yeah,
look
so
at him. He didn't.
I started recording with a $200 recorder, and then I would take a still shot of the band, whatever they had on their social media. I would take that, and I would slap it on my YouTube, and then I would ask them, like, hey, you know, please reshare. So they would reshare and do their thing. And then I was resharing on LinkedIn. So I do this for 8 months. And I realized at the time that LinkedIn was actually, they won't do it now because they're woke, but they were ranking people literally 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you were looking for an audio engineer, New York City, there was a list. And I noticed that whoever had more information, a picture, video was started, you know, I noticed the analytics like 11 years ago, and I was like, oh, I saw myself moving up as I started posting more of these videos. So I knew I had gotten up to the #1 audio engineer in New York City on LinkedIn. 8 months later, I get a DM from 8-time Grammy Award winner Christian McBride, jazz bassist, to go around the world and tour with him, mixing all of his bands. And he had like 6 different bands. He was like, yeah, so I'm going to Curacao with the big band. And my first show was at 92nd Street Y in New York City. But then the second show was in Curacao off the coast of South America.
What?
And Prince was the headliner. It was a festival. It was us, Prince, and the Roots. All playing at the same time.
So, Fela, I gotta ask this question. When I was hearing that story, when you were saying that story, and shout out to Christian McBride, because he actually spoke about you in the Full Sail Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Now he said, this is the only time I did this. Only time for me to go on LinkedIn, because he was like, I would just give it a shot. And look at God. You know, I don't know. Look at that.
What he doing?
Won't
you know what kind of
he?
DMs I get?
Yes, he will.
Do you know what kind of DMs I get?
It's a Christian man. I don't think it's Christian McBride.
It ain't that. I will tell you that now. And I had to hang up and block somebody the other day. I said, hello, and it was just steady pulling. I said, oh no.
Exactly.
I'm going to my grandmother's house.
So yeah, that was my first foray into marketing, and realizing like, I can tweak it myself.
Stage fright? I mean, not stage fright, but what is it called?
I'm thinking starstruck.
Stage
fright. How did you feel?
About
what was that moment when you realized you was there with the Roots, or you was there with Prince, and it was like this whole thing? What did that feel like inside? Because that was okay. This is why I went through all that 10 years of bullshit. It was the payoff, of course. It was like, oh my God, this is everything. That's the real deal.
I mean, I met Harry Belafonte that night. I met him. It was like I met everybody. Like that's why I said like I got the ultimate gig after waiting so long. To like everything, all the singers and artists that I wanted to deal with. Like, you know, I don't necessarily like. I love artists that actually that can sing and can play the instrument. You know.
Yes.
So to get to play, you know, to get to mix like the best in the world, because most of his band either like teaches at Juilliard or New School, you know, so these are the best of the best musicians.
Yeah, my music teacher got locked up at TJ. He was touching all the girls.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
so I had it the hallway. That's all. She didn't met somebody to work at Juilliard. I don't even know nobody who mopped the floors at Juilliard. Lord help me.
Wow.
I'm still cool with the best lady, though.
My question when Christian called you and he said, "Hey, you could," I think he hired you that on the spot, like, come through today.
Yeah, well, he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be in Brooklyn. I see that you mix in Brooklyn. I'll stop by a show," and he did like that same week. Wow. And then it was like, "All right, well, I got a show next week at 92nd Street Y, and that's like a major venue here in New York City." So, yeah.
So I got a feeling what I take from you from when I met you, we got to sit down. Quan, her and I sat down. We were chopping it up.
She was at the
Afro Audios and Podcast.
Yeah.
Conference.
Yes, that you went to. Okay, I figured that.
And Corey, shout out to my boy Corey at Black Podcast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because Quana, I felt like I did not know this world existed. Like I didn't know we were black podcasters were out there. I felt like we were in our own world battling this dragon. But going to that event and meeting people like her and everyone there, I met a lot of CEOs, a lot of black CEOs in the world of podcasting. And
yeah, we out here.
Yeah, I felt at home. So what I get from you is when he gave you that opportunity, you were so ready and prepared for that moment.
Oh,
you didn't even worry about when you had to go mix. You were like, okay.
Mixing him was the easiest thing about it.
She was there her whole life. She just needed somebody to open the door.
Oh yeah,
he's a Grammy-winning musician, so it was even it was coming in so clean.
Exactly.
Oh
exactly.
My God.
How beautiful is that?
Yeah, I didn't have to deal with the attitudes or the label because it was jazz is it's different every night. So it's not like, oh, I want it to sound like the record. So because when you get into mixing pop music, they want you to sound like the record. And I get it, because that's what that is. So
yeah.
I like the artistic side of jazz. But I mean, I've done pop artists. Like funny enough, the last gig that I did mix was Chloe and Haley.
Wow, so we talked about this.
Yeah, so
talked about it with me, right?
no, I'm saying I'm excited because we did talk about that. Wait. So please, she mixed for the Little Mermaid.
And you know what? I was just talking about that because they was mad about this Little Mermaid being black, but they wasn't mad when Little Orphan Annie was black. So we can be an orphan, but we can't be a mermaid. We ain't nothing about Jamie Foxx and the little black girl with the bush. But the little girl with the little wavy hair in the water, and we got an issue.
Hey, look, I'm going to tell you how
even the crab was Jamaican.
Little Mermaid. I am happy that it's a nice, beautiful woman because I didn't want to see no pale girl in no cold ass water with red hair. You know what I'm saying? All I want to know is what Ursula gonna look like because she was scary.
Roseanne.
Who's Ursula?
I think it's the comedian Melissa McCarthy. I think.
Oh, is it?
Got that? Yeah, because I think Lizzo was trying to get it, but I think it ended up going to Melissa McCarthy.
Oh yeah, because I mean, you got to give it to someone that put that work in. Ursula was a bad girl.
Voice got to be right.
And you gotta know how to act. I mean, nothing against Lizzo. I don't know if she can act or not, but she got a stamp that she can act. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm looking at it right now. That's dope.
Yeah.
Oh, man, Fela. I mean, Quana, it's just she's the dopest. The dopest.
I love that though. That's sister power. That's what we need more of.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean,
sister doing her thing.
But that's why I love this era of time with content creation because it takes it out of other people's hands.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could have done this in the 80s. Like that's what have been.
Girl, you would have got stoned.
Yeah. Now you're so funny.
She's a witch.
Yeah, I mean,
that song, she's a witch.
but you're so right. This time is so beautiful. Like and I don't feel like we just put in so much work. Everybody in front of us worked so much 10 times harder that we're so infinite right now. It's dope.
Black women don't get enough recognition. We so underrated. and they don't even want to pay us what they pay the men to do the same job.
Well, and my point against that is that's why more Black women need to own it, because you get paid what the market is.
Yeah.
Like, I own the business, and not going to be like, oh, you're going to pay me 30% less because I'm a Black bitch. Like, no. Like,
no.
What's the market rate? And that's what you have to pay us. So that's really whoever you work with.
Whoever
is
you
trash
work
juice.
with, yeah.
Well, not even with. That's who you work for is trash juice. If you're getting paid 30%,
trash juice.
So
trash juice.
Yeah, trash juice.
Not even the juice that liquidated from the
trash.
I didn't know she knew my mother-in-law.
Wow. So to get back into the entrepreneurship portion of it all, because you are an ultimate entrepreneur.
Yes.
What marketing techniques after LinkedIn are you still finding?
Oh yeah, I mean that pretty much got me realizing, like, oh, okay, I don't need 1 million likes. I just need one key one. So, but then I really started doing reviews for gear and stuff. So I started working with the 8-time Grammy Award winner. Then manufacturers and audio gear people are just throwing me gear. Cause it's like, oh yeah, she's in, Paris, and, cause and then I was using social media to highlight how I was using the gear. And so we would get we got so much gear that it was between me and my business partner, Dennis, it was just under our beds at our apartment. It was like everywhere. And then it was like, oh, we need a studio.
Yeah.
So that hence is how this even came about. The good thing about that is that we didn't have to go into debt buying gear, because we had a bunch of gear from all of the marketing and all of the reviews and stuff, and doing those reviews, and ended up getting that gig with Mix Magazine, because they had already seen I had hundreds of videos of showing, reviews of different microphones and interfaces and stuff like that. So I
want to do the commercial.
Marketing. Yeah. So yeah, we do commercials. I learned how to
do commercial.
Exactly. I had to start learning how to edit video and everything. So I got into that and
learn now, cause
yeah. Oh yeah, you should. I mean, it took a minute for us. I mean, because I come from a background of audio, but video is a big chunk of our business now.
Well, I know the manager at Wendy's, so I'm already
hey, they need commercials.
Dave.
I'm just saying.
He moving up anyway, so yeah, I can work the kiosk.
Exactly. Oh yeah, and then like. Exactly. So then we have like the Afros and Audios conference, stuff like that. So I go to all of the podcast conferences. So getting my face out there
like,
to be known.
I'm going to a podcast conference. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know what he was going to get from it or what, but he's just always trying to find new. So I'm like, let me know what come back with. I'll be at home with 17 kids.
Let me tell you, Kwana, what I got from it is we're going to the next one. All of us. I'm going to take all the entire. We're all going to go.
Yes.
I let y'all know that my job.
Let them know you're going out the state. Yeah. Let them know you got the state.
Right. I asked the judge next week when I go if I could go with y'all.
Baylor, what else? Like, what other podcasts would you say? Conferences would you tell another podcaster, Black podcaster,
is a must go to?
Yeah. The other ones I've been to, Podcast Movement, and this will be my first year going to Podfest, but I'm doing a presentation at Podfest, and I've spoken at Podcast Movement for the past 2 years, talking about, podcast production and, you know, what's the best practices and stuff like that. So that's how I get out there. And we even partnered up with Dystopia.
I love that.
At Podcast Movement at their booth. And, you know, we had our kits out and just showing people, you know, what we did. So, yeah, so I do a lot of collaboration and networking. Like I said, the Chamber of Commerce, and what I was about to say before, I joined the Chamber of Commerce in Charlotte. I'm not even down there yet, but that guy, the president of the Chamber of Commerce there, put me in touch with Dystopia, which and that Dystopia deal was the 50 kits. So I mean, you just never know. Like, you just gotta let people know, hey, this is what I'm doing, and they'll lead you to the right people. Because I would have never met them without a chamber. So I know that's kind of old school, and most people are like, black people in the chambers, or like, what is?
It ain't a cage.
It doesn't matter, yeah, because it's other like money sees no color.
But that's what I love is that nobody is blocking anybody else's blessings. Everybody, like, come on in, come on in, come on in.
But it's a very open community. I found dealing with networks and chambers of commerce. We just want money. We want to, our friends to make money. How do you do it? Exactly. So that's the kind of friends I have. Like, I want to know about, what's the real estate deal we can do? Like,
exactly. Different conversations.
Different conversations.
Different conversations. I met with Patrick with Dystopia yesterday.
Nice. So,
I'll tell you more about that, Quana. It's some big, powerful stuff is up on the way.
See, I'm the left back burner over here.
No, you're not. No, you're not. I just don't want to speak it out on here.
I'll be a millionaire and won't find out for a couple days if he gonna get it together. He gonna put it together.
I'm gonna be like, Quana, check your bank account. Dude, I didn't even know I'm here buying Chipotle. I'm like, look, I told you somebody was a goddamn Chipotle.
I got Chipotle.
Double meat. Double meat.
You must know me. You must know me.
All that.
Double meat. Cheese.
Period.
So, thank you once again for being here with us. We appreciate it. All gas, no breaks, man. I know we're doing some big things.
Yes.
Because we got people like you talking to us. I know we doing
beautiful, beauty and brain.
Hey,
thank you so much.
Man. What advice would you give to a new business owner?
All right.
Oh, do it. Read books, like, I love reading biographies. So, like, black, white, whatever. I've read like Andrew Carnegie's biography, and I didn't realize he was an abolitionist. Like,
how long was that?
Yeah,
was that in the Bible?
Was that the Bible?
How long was that book? That book.
That is a long book. That is a long book. But I'm all about it. I get everything on Audible. So
that's in the back of the Bible. That's next to Revelation.
Exactly. But it tells you about the book of money.
Definitely
in the Bible. Definitely in the Bible.
And look, Fayla,
New Testament.
I've noticed in her interviews, everyone is talking about, the audio and the mixing, and you be like, look, I gotta get paid. This is why I'm going out to get paid. I was in a small town and they wasn't out here paying, so hey, look,
I love it.
Like, you attacked it, and you.
Some people would take that as a downgrade. Like, this is where I come from. I can't get out of here. Nobody has gotten out of here. This is where I am. This is who I am. And she's a rose through the concrete. Like, no, that's not who I am. This is who I am. And I'll go anywhere to show anyone who I am, and I'll do anything so anybody can see who I really am. And I think that is just beyond beautiful. I don't even know who can compete with such self-love as that. It's very important. Real love for self is very important, and it will motivate you more than any partner ever can.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, you gotta have that for yourself.
Oh,
and if you don't have that for yourself, you can't give it to anyone else.
And that's a complete shout out to my parents.
Yeah,
it was never nothing I couldn't do. I mean, we didn't have much, but it was like, well, then you go out there and
you need to go get it.
You know, it was never my dad and my mom were always like, get it, like,
that's right.
Go ahead, no problem. Yep, leave the state. Go, you know, do your thing.
Go.
What? Don't be crying over here.
Yeah.
And then you just sit there wallowing, and you then get up and go.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So you may have answered my question.
I ain't been nowhere yet though.
You go. Oh no, you go.
I got up, but I ain't been nowhere yet.
You go.
Get ready, baby.
You
get ready.
Them DMs look terrible.
Get ready. And when we there.
My LinkedIn said I could be a massage therapist.
Just don't give up no happy endings.
No happy.
I'm giving up happy endings today. These kids gotta eat. They tired of this same service. And
so, Family, you may answer one of my questions. I always ask your top 3 influencers in life.
That's the one.
And why?
Oh yeah, exactly. My parents 1 and 2, they spoke life into me, and that's very important. I did. Now that I look back on, you know, how did this happen? And it was that. I never
looking back is so awesome.
Yeah, it's great, and man, it's so many. Like I said, I've read so many biographies. The other 2 that I haven't met, they're past. Madam C.J. Walker, I loved her book, and Reginald L. Lewis. Why do white
boys get to have all
the fun? Yeah, white boys have. Yeah.
Madam C.J. Walker pulled that.
Oh yeah, and I mean, people don't even realize. Oh, she pulled up on a steam
1800 G-Wagon.
Exactly. She was driving the G-Wagon of her day. Right through Harlem, right off the Hudson River, right over here.
Damn.
So, yeah, I mean, people don't realize how
big. She's been big to me ever since I realized who she was.
Yeah.
And that picture of her pulling up. What?
Oh. And I mean, and she was,
ain't it?
Yeah, she just went through everything. I mean, Booker T. Washington talking shit to her, and she was like,
"Yeah,
like in your own
it was
people,
crazy.
You can't even."
So that book I did read. I know y'all know I don't read all, you know what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm
but
so glad
when I
you
seen the
read
picture
that
of her
one.
pulling up, that was it. She got me. Her and Harry Stubman, they got me.
And then she would pull up in Jamaica back in the day, in the 30s.
I ain't see that part.
So she would, that same car, she would put on a steamboat. She would go down to the West Indies and then drive her own car.
Wow.
No woman, no cry.
People don't realize how much of a baller she was.
That was deep for me to see a
how
woman.
Rich she was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's, and then she wasn't born into slavery, unlike her other.
Right.
You know, so she had a different, so it's your mindset. So in the end, it's really about your mind.
You can be enslaved, you can be in jail, you can be in hell. It's all right here. Your health, your mental health is your real wealth. And you can go very far on the beach, just keeping it intact. Yeah.
you can be anywhere you want to.
And your edges. Keep your edges too, y'all. Keep your edges. Keep your edges and keep your mind. Both is very important because that shit looks terrible.
I know about edges. Don't put the braids too close to the
close.
Hair,
you ain't supposed to braid the baby hair.
You swoop them. You swoop them.
You know you ain't been a baby for 47 years. So why are you putting
with the toothbrush? Yeah.
You gotta swoop them, baby.
John toothbrush.
Yeah.
He got cavities because you brushing this teeth down so you can go to the corner store.
Oh no!
The disrespect for me.
And I'm actually reading that book right now. I'm reading it on Audible. Why should white boys have all the fun?
Me too.
I never heard of that.
Me too.
Yes.
He did the first black man to do have $1 billion business.
Yeah.
And he did it in like a corporate takeover.
Yes.
So.
And he's from Baltimore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Baltimore, they don't even say full words. Okay.
He's so funny. Yeah. Shout out Baltimore.
Reggie did though.
Reggie was a baller. He started the books. I love how the book started with his daughter talking about how she just thought about what he did for her. He would like rent out the amusement parks for her birthday.
Yeah.
You know? And he comes from poverty.
Yeah.
Like deep poverty. But he said his grandparents didn't allow that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So that, what you said, that resonates with me because growing up, you don't realize how you're caged by people. When you're a child, you're caged by individuals, others' mindsets.
Always.
And as a young man, I knew I wasn't there. And people thought I was crazy. I was always called crazy. Always. I was always different.
And you think I wasn't? You knew me as a kid.
Oh, I knew you was nuts. Yeah, you crazy too. It's like you're here with me. Like bonkers. I love it. But, you can't have that mindset. You cannot believe what people, and I can't even say it's people or what the system enforced.
It's
you
not
just got to be
important.
beyond that.
It's not important.
Nope. Yeah. Not at all.
It just makes no difference. That's their problem. You don't like me, that's your problem. Your problem's not my problem.
Yeah.
Pretty you deal with that however you need to deal with that. Good luck with that. And I wish you the best. I'm going to pray for you tonight.
Yeah.
Over this leftover spaghetti. I don't even know I got to pray over it again. Lord, it's me and the spaghetti again. Amen.
Hey. Amen.
Hey, until you can expand into more. But I mean, I always knew it. Okay, you have these dips now, but you'll be back up.
Yeah. Exactly.
Have you read the book?
Double
have you read the book?
Chipotle.
Hey, have you read that book? It's called The Dip. Have you read that book?
No.
It's a small book. It's like maybe on the way to the bathroom you can finish it. It's called The Dip. And it's what makes me not give up.
Where's your bathroom at?
There's one right behind me. Got quite a few. The Dip.
The Dip.
How big as shit.
Yeah.
It's an amazing book. It's about statistics and it talks about how you think you're on the decline when you can actually might be on that incline, and because you choose to stop, you can fall, or you would just stay stagnant and you didn't realize you just needed that next step. That's
the picture of like 4 inches left where the guy gets the diamond.
Exactly.
That's what that reminds me of. Like 4 more inches, exactly. He had the diamond, but he just sit down.
Yeah. So that was that's life. Just keep taking away. You never know when that opportunity is gonna come, and
and never give up on you.
Yeah, and it's fun. Like, at first it is, when you don't have much and but it does, like when you're doing something that you're passionate about, and it does, it doesn't feel like work. It's not work. I love going to those conferences because I like meeting people like yourself, and like I would have never, met you guys if it wasn't for that. So
God bless.
I'm all about just, letting people know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's
beautiful.
Well, Fela, thank you so much. We don't want to keep you too long. The next question was
she's very busy. Excuse that.
Yeah, she's very busy.
And
I got to get busy. I got to get busy like this. What's next? What should we be looking out for next?
Audio kits with podcasts and stuff. Getting our brand out there.
Absolutely.
We want to, and possibly even going international with it and selling in some
Why
other...
not? We got some connections in Sierra Leone.
Yes, we do.
I'm actually in talks with Africa. Yeah, with Africa Podcast Fest and all of that too. So yeah, that would be the ultimate. I would like to take on Africa and because they're having a problem getting their equipment there. So being the problem solver for that. So and
I love that.
Import, export.
Talented babies over there that need their stuff. They need their stuff.
Import, export.
Yeah. We got somebody
and just, pushing audio into a better place and, just making it a normal thing for stuff to sound good. And I want my industry I want to make it better and be one of those pioneers early in the podcast game. So
you already are.
Yes, she's a pioneer.
Thank you.
Yeah, she already is.
So,
you
very
have
humble, but she already
I respect
is.
the humbleness, but you're a pioneer. You are such a pioneer. Corey kept telling me, Santiago, you have not met Phelan. I'm like, man, brother, point me into her direction so I can meet her. And then he did it, and I was like, we have to talk. And it was a blessing. It was motivation.
And we gotta get her on there. We gotta get her at the studio. Yeah. We gotta go see her.
Next time you come back, you please.
Oh yeah, I'll come through. I gotta come through.
Please, you're gonna love the studio. Studio is amazing. It's beautiful. We'll show you a good time.
I bring Chipotle.
I'm gonna bring a Mexican, another company, more traditional, but she likes the Chipotle.
Fantastic. Oh yeah, and I guess for people that want to reach out to me, oneofoneproductions.com. One of One Productions. We're all over social media, IG, Facebook, and of course LinkedIn. Reach out. Let us know, how we can assist in any way. So
I love it.
Thank you for saying that, because I was going to ask you, please tell the people where they can find you at.
She already here. She already here.
You know the game.
I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Snapchat. I'm on Twitter. I am everywhere.
And I have a podcast called The Art of Music Tech. Funny enough.
The Art of Music
Tech. Technology.
Okay.
So
we
review gear and all that sort of thing. Yep. So
make sure y'all listen to that. The Art of Music Tech. Phelan Davis, Hall of Famer from Full Sail. Bless All Gas No Break podcast with her presence.
And she'll be back.
And she'll be back.
I
Phelan,
will.
When you're in DC,
and I was following you guys before we even met, so that you guys got a crazy.
I love it.
Your timeline is off the hook. So yeah.
Hey Phelan, thank you for that. Quan, I was telling you that people were following us. That I was like, wow, I didn't. I know it's been working, but it's beautiful when you find out that it is.
Oh, it is. Your marketing is working as well. So I'm glad all of our marketing points, we're just crossing over. So I love it.
You can find me at Super Saiyan Santi. And you can follow us at AGNB Podcast, All Gas No Break Podcast. We are everywhere. We could be streamed anywhere and everywhere. Shout out to One on One Production Studios.
One of one.
I'm sorry. And I remember that at One of One Production Studio.
Yes.
On IG. And I say IG because we have a great following on IG. It looks like we have 30-something followers, 33,000 followers, whatever, but we get about 20 to 40,000 hits.
Yeah.
Easily.
All right.
So people are on our page, they're enjoying themselves, and I want them to please, you have to follow this team over here because they're doing some. She works with Ice-T. She's working with Ice-T.
Oh my God, I met him at Pentagon City.
And she's working with him.
At the Foot Locker. I asked him to marry me at the Foot Locker. I was like 17.
Oh, wow.
That was pre-Coco, so okay.
He said, no, I was 17, man, girl, I'm 42.
Okay. He said that. That's not what happened.
That ship has sailed, you understand? And sank.
I'm a huge fan of Ice-T. Well, hey, look, thank you, everybody, man. Phelan, thank you. Thank you so much.
Amazing.